What's up guys, and welcome to another video. Today we're talking about composition and how it can drastically improve your videos. Now, composition is one of those things where no matter what camera you shoot with, high quality cinema camera, if you don't have it dialed in, you're still gonna get amateur looking videos. So what is composition? Well, simply put, from the name, it's what composes your frame. Now, when setting up my composition, I like to look at three aspects. First being framing, what I want to include or exclude from my frame. Now, this influences where your viewer's eye is gonna be directed to. So if you have a subject that's blended in with the background, with a lot of mess in the background, the viewer's eye is not gonna really know where to look. So you wanna make sure your subject's standing out from the background. So you're framing it right and making sure that it's standing out from the background. Now, the other two are also related to the same aspect. The second being where you want to position your subject in the frame, whether it may be rule of thirds or you just want to set them to dead center. Third is how far or close you want to be from your subject. Now, you can either be super close as a close-up shot, or you can have a wide angle. That's gonna depend on what kind of look you're trying to achieve or what story you're telling. Now, what better way to learn this than to demonstrate it? So let's go. Oh, we're back here again. Anyways, let's take a look at this example. So let's discuss the three aspects. First, starting off with framing. Now, I chose to include the sky along with the skyline here to give that nice color contrast that we just discussed earlier. The sky's blue, our subject is kind of in the orange spectrum, and that gives color contrast and therefore depth. That is a nice and aesthetic kind of look, very well known in Hollywood. Another thing is the leading lines we can see here. These lines meet up in the eye of the subject, and that directs the viewer's attention to the eye and the subject's face. Leading lines are a great way to direct attention to a specific part of the frame, and they work really great and very commonly used. I chose here to include the light in the background. I used it as a backlight that creates a nice glow around the border of the subject and makes it stand out and pop out from the background. And once again, that gives depth to your image. Now, the last point here we want to discuss is framing. Why did I choose this composition, or sorry, this angle, rather than a wider or narrower angle? Well, that's quite simple. If you chose a wider angle to show the feet and the rest of the subject, then it's gonna create kind of a distraction. Our main focus point here is the subject's face along with the camera. That's where the main action is happening. There's no movement in the leg part and it's kind of redundant. So I chose to exclude that and went with a more medium shot where it's showing just the face along with the camera. If you chose to include a wider angle, then you have a lot of useless kind of blank space in the background, right and left at the bottom. It's all useless and not really needed. So we just went for a medium shot, very simple, show where the main action is mainly happening. Now, I could have went for a close-up shot, but I wanted to show the face with the camera simultaneously. And if I zoomed in a little bit more or went for a longer focal length, then I would have cropped in the camera part or the head part. So it wasn't really required in this situation, but you can use it if you wanted to only show the face or the camera. You can go in for a close-up shot. So that's as far as this shot goes. Let's take a look at another example. Now, this shot right here, as you can see, it is not very aesthetically pleasing. There's a lot of distractions in the background, not really good leading lines, and it is poorly composed. We can fix this really quick by just moving the camera a little bit to the right, and look what kind of difference it makes. Now we have leading lines from the tree along with the tiles and those snails over there, all leading into one point, which is the center, and that is our subject moving. So you can see what a big difference composition really makes. Just by moving a few inches or a few meters to the right, it made a huge impact on the composition. Now, this can be further improved by probably blurring out the background a little more, but generally speaking, it is quite acceptable, and you can see what a drastic difference it makes by just adjusting the composition a tiny bit. Now, moving on to our next clip over here, we can see that this time We have the sky that's white along with our subject, which is wearing black. This creates some nice color contrast and depth once again, and makes the subject stand out and pop from that background as we mentioned earlier. We also have leading lines just like the previous clip. We have this line along with this meeting up and leading to our subject, directing the viewer's eye to the subject as we mentioned earlier. But there's something different with this clip. Unlike the rest, our subject is not centered. We are using the rule of thirds. We positioned our subject on the right third and the tower on the left third, and that makes it appear that our subject is looking at the tower. This creates a nice three-dimensional image and it gives it depth. As we spoke about earlier, it's all about creating that depth in the image that gives it more life and dynamic. Now you can see what a drastic impact composition has on your videos, whether it may be for professional use or simply everyday use on your cell phone. It's going to greatly improve your videos if you know how to use it properly. So let's take a look at one more clip here before ending this video. As you can see here, this clip's a little bit different. It is quite symmetrical, and you can see that our subject is dead center. This is a perfect example of leading lines. It is symmetrical with our subject in the middle, everything leading to the center of the frame. Without getting too repetitive here, you can see the same things apply as the previous clips. Our subject's standing out from the background through color contrast. We have an orange bag and a black sweater or jacket along with a white background. Once again, we repeated this many times so we can see the same thing here. So what you wear is a great thing to think about when you're going out to shoot. So if you're going out at night, you don't want to wear something too dark. Otherwise, you're going to start to blend in with the darkness of the night. And same things apply in the morning, vice versa. And if you noticed, all the clips that I've showed you have leading lines. This isn't necessarily true for every clip. It's simply a way to direct the viewer's eyes to a specific point of the frame. So just because you don't have leading lines in your composition, it doesn't mean you have a very poor composition, but it is something to consider when shooting your subject. Thank you guys for watching the video. Hope you found it informative. If you did, give it a thumbs up. And if you want to catch future uploads, then subscribe down below. And you can also follow me on Instagram to catch a lot of cool adventures that I go to, rooftops, a lot of awesome places. And I also post really nice photos there too. At least that's what I think. So check them out over there. And that's it for this one. I'll see you guys next time.